James Thomas Morning, Glenn. I'm here today with Tonya Rapley. You ever been broke before? Let's talk about being broke and going from broke. I am Tonya Rapley. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am good. What an intro.
You know why? Because I'm always broke.
I'm a financial educator. I've been one since 2013. And whenever I'm at an event, wherever I introduce people and tell them what I do, it usually is always, "Ooh, really? I could use your services." Da 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 da. So I'm very familiar with the financial insecurity that a lot of people face.
Oh God. So let's start talking about this series, Going for Broke on Crackle. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Going from broke, we're in our third season, and we it follows myself and my co-host Dan as we help people who are in tough financial situations make sense of the financial situation they're in and really figure out a way out. This season in particular, like we really raise the stakes. We have people with large sums of debt. In the past it was, and I don't want to minimize anybody's financial situation. In the past it was smaller sums, but this season, like we had like people with over $1 million worth of debt and trying to figure out how to help them get back to a place where they felt financially secure. And that's our goal of the show, is to give people hope and give people solutions that they can take action on so that they can get back to a place of financial wholeness.
Is there any surprises for season three?
I think there is. I think there is. I mean, I think it's the cast selection in itself. There are surprises as well as the professions that people have. I think that one of the things we highlight is people are seen as these high earners, or people are seen as these successful individuals, but they can have financial worries and financial issues as well. So we do see that. We see some people do their work and we see people not do their work. I mean, that's the reality of it. We would hope that everybody who we sign up for this show is going to be a willing participant and do what we ask them to do, but everybody's not going to do what we ask them to do.
Why is that? Why do you think people are reluctant?
Behaviors. I think that people become very comfortable in behaviors that have served them, or they have an understanding of what to expect from that behavior. There's also a thing called goal trauma, where you set a goal so much for yourself and you don't accomplish it, such as, this year I'm going to pay off debt finally, or this year I'm going to save more. And after years and years of not accomplishing that, you no longer have confidence in yourself, and you have goal trauma around it, where you kind of say, like, why even bother? I disappointed myself in the past regarding that. I don't want to set myself up for disappointment again. So why even try? So there are a variety of things at play. Now we have social media. And so social media also compromises people's financial decisions, because while they wouldn't have made certain financial choices had they not been on display, or they had not been putting it on display, they make different financial choices knowing they're going to put it on display. So we deal with that. And then the pandemic. I don't think that you can talk about a financial wellness show without unearthing the impact that the pandemic had on everybody. Everyone experienced the pandemic differently, but there are some people who were more impacted than others, and we cover that as well as the people who really were impacted from it, but as well as personal health emergencies.
I almost wanted to ask you a question, but then I realized you were pretty young when it happened, comparing the pandemic with the Great Recession of '08.
I mean, I was young, but I was just graduating from college.
Ooh.
And so to graduate from college, and that's what led me to become a financial educator, actually, is because I graduated from college in 2007. The recession happened in 2008. But as we know, and as we are seeing now, recessions happen long before it's announced that it's a recession. And so when I was applying for jobs, there weren't a lot of jobs out there. People were very mindful of who they were hiring, how they were hiring. I went to college for public administration, but my first job out of college was at a call center because that's the only job that I could get, despite having actual experience in my field. And that was one of the reasons that I became a financial educator, was because I felt like a lot of the financial experts did not understand what it was like to start your life in a recession. It's one thing to be in your life in a recession, but to start in a recession is a completely different ballgame. You're already set back, add on being a Black woman, and like add on being like a double minority, and it's like we're really behind this ball game. So how do we become financially secure from this place, and what financial decisions do we have to make differently, and to have compassion related to that. But I remember it. And actually the work that I did prior to becoming a financial educator was I helped homeowners who are at risk of losing their homes due to predatory practices from the banks or community members or or scammers who are out there and helping homeowners remain in their homes in the New York City area. So while I was also impacted by it, I spent about 3 years helping people who were impacted by it.
What's crazy is they're still doing the same thing today. It's just named it something else. And God forbid, look out.
Yeah, I mean there are things that are done differently. So I don't think that this one will feel like the last one. I mean I do think there's a myriad of issues that led to this one, but largely set off by the pandemic and the quick efforts intended to stave that and kind of like the retraction. There
Mm-hmm.
was an influx and now there's a retraction, and that retraction is a recession. The waves are going back out to sea.
Yep, they are. Been talking with Tonya Rapley, and we've been talking about going for broke. It's on Crackle. Looking forward to seeing it. And you're right, double whammy there. I do understand. Thank you again for joining us on Morning Blend.
Yes, yes, yes.